Well, hello and welcome everyone to another game of Littlewargame's Pro League 6. This is going to be Week 1, Group A, Game number 2. Once again, it is going to be the Fellowship versus Team Broleague. Today, it is up to bScherm and Neagat to fight it out on the battlefield. So without any further ado, let's get into game number 1 and see who will take the early lead. Alright, so the first game on Arcadia. It is going to be in the top left hand side, spawning with the red pieces for our team, the Fellowship. It is bScherm. And on the opposite side of the map with the blue pieces for Team Broleague, it is Neagat. Now, I am going to be curious to see what this is going to end up with. Neagat is not a player who, I'd like to say, or I want to say, doesn't like playing ranked. Or if he does like it, he just hasn't done it so far this new season, because he is still unranked. bScherm, on the other hand, definitely is not. I have casted some games of Neagat in the past, who is opening with a Rex while bScherm is opening with a Den. We've seen this style before in the previous matches. Assume bScherm going for 3 wolves and Neagat going for 2 raiders. And that will be the standard opening. Curious to see if that actually will work out that way. But as I was saying, Neagat, definitely not a bad player. But his skill is a little bit harder to estimate. At least for me, of course, because I don't have any current ranked statistics. But I do know that he is a pretty decent player as far as I'm concerned. bScherm as well is a very solid one too, which is a great addition to the already strong team of the Fellowship. Having Heffy, the rank 1 player of the game, currently as a team lead, it's definitely a great position to be in for bScherm. His team, the Fellowship, is already some points ahead because of the clean sweep that Heffy had the first day. So let's see if bScherm can make his team proud and continue the advantage, or if Neagat can get some points on the board for Team Broleague. First, Wolf and Raider will pass each other, they will find each other. Some nice movement so far from this Raider, trying to flash, does not manage to hit it. The Wolf, having just a little bit more movement speed, can just barely outrun the Raider. The second Wolf of bScherm trying to scout around a little bit, see if there is any shenanigans going on. And it doesn't look like it. The Wolf does manage to get into the main base. 3 workers are going to chase it, which is not the best decision, because if you look at the income, even though he might, well, he's actually behind on workers. Actually quite surprised that it's not a bigger deficit. However, bScherm is starting his natural just a little bit faster. Workers back at the gold mine as the Raider is trying to take care of this Wolf, trying to cut it off. Not happening so far. How is this battle going to continue? Can the Wolf actually outmaneuver this Raider, or is it going to be time? It does manage to get one attack. Is he going to flash and be in range to actually kill it? It is not going to kill it just yet, just has a little bit too much health. 1 hit is on literally 1 health remaining, and has to flash another time to actually take it down. Very nicely played so far. The Raider on the other side of the map also sees the 4 wolves so far of bScherm. I don't think he actually saw the other den being constructed, so it looks like bScherm is going to try and get a little bit more of a pressure going with the addition of the second, then probably going to amass just a few more wolves and maybe go for a push then, or is he going to build a snake charmer and get some snakes into the fray as well? Curious to find out. These raiders are in a tough position. One raider only has one flash, but the damage is going to be enough to deter these 5 wolves. I think 2 raiders with a decent amount of micro can actually take down 5 wolves, and especially, of course, if a 3rd raider enters the battlefield as well. As we see more raiders being produced from Neagat. It's nice to see versus the wolves, of course. As I mentioned in the previous games, raiders can deal a lot of damage versus the wolves, where soldiers are quite a bit more tanky. Raiders are a little bit more versatile in their usage. So it's going to be interesting how effective the raider positioning is going to be. It can also take down workers very quickly with 3 raiders. But we're just going to see how bad it's going to be. bScherm does scout that there's no 3rd base. Wolf gets into the main base, sees that there's nothing really exciting going on. bScherm spots only 1 Rex for Neagat, and that is pretty much it. And the 4th raider enters Neagat's territory, or actually it enters bScherm's territory, but Neagat's positioning. Some nice movement so far. Flashes out with all of the raiders. Does limit the flexibility quite a bit, but behind this, Neagat is going for a 3rd, also including a watchtower here. Not entirely sure if that watchtower is the best position, but it is definitely locked up, so there's not a lot of space to actually take down that watchtower. Neagat using his raiders the same way as bScherm is using the wolves, trying to scout around a little bit, sees that there is no 3rd base for bScherm so far, and I expect a player in the blue to get ahead at least a little bit once this 3rd base is going to be completed. Wolf is going to be taken down, very nice. The 2nd barracks is finished, the 3rd barracks is on the way. Some nice production boost from our boy in the blue, but the 3rd and almost 4th wolf den has been constructed as well. Nothing really going into the way of some more tech. This is a pretty dead raider if I've ever seen one. Unless he can actually move around a little bit better, but I highly doubt that it's going to be enough. Even with a flash, it will probably just get chased down. And it has 7 HP remaining, and there it goes. But yeah, none of these players are really going into any tech. We can see bScherm now, having constructed the snake charmer, is going for 4 snakes at the same time, trying to get some more range DPS in there as well, while the wolves can tank everything. But I would like to see from Neagat, just like Avocado did not in his first games, I believe, or Weird Red. I don't think either did too much. Weird Red did at the end. But I would really like to see some workshops coming in to try and get some of the tech going and, you know, upgrade the army composition just a little bit. Because catapults, as well, if you just get an workshop and an advanced workshop, just the catapults together with the airship can deal lots and lots and lots of damage to the economy of your opponent. Neagat is getting himself a bird, does not move it around too much though, definitely wants to move this to the other side of the map, but there is a large push coming from bScherm. I don't think it's going to deal a lot of damage though. These soldiers are quite tanky. These raiders can deal quite some damage. It is not that nice to see though that the raiders are being stayed behind, the workers are being pulled. This is very dangerous. He does not want to get surrounded by all of these wolves. But soldiers, once again, relatively tanky. They can deal quite some damage. Will they actually be able to focus down some wolves and take them down completely, or are they all going to survive with just a slither of health remaining? The workers enter, don't do anything. The raiders enter, also don't really do that much. They just weaken everything, but they don't actually kill a lot of stuff. That is not what you like to see. A lot of wasted movement, no attacks being done by these raiders is a lot of damage actually not being dealt to the army of bScherm. And that is going to leave our boy Neagat with a very tricky situation to deal with. A lot of workers are still in the army composition right over here, trying to deal an additional damage, or at least have a little bit of an additional pressure over here. But I don't think that this is the place where Neagat wants to be. He is ahead with all of the workers that he pretty much has in his army. But obviously you would prefer to have those working at the mines instead of working as a soldier. And this is one of the things, if the workers are not actually mining stuff, you cannot make additional army, and if your army just dies, then it doesn't matter how many workers you have, they are not going to deal with this beast army. So I'm not entirely sure what I would like to see here. He's making a lot of soldiers, which is very nice, but I don't know what would be the best move here. Once again, I would assume that catapults would be a great addition to this army, and maybe you get an additional amount of archers for some range DPS, but it is not going to be enough anyway, because Neagat GG's out and bScherm with a relatively early game push, just staying on 2 bases as he was getting his 3rd base up and running, just catching Neagat out of position. He was not prepared for this push. He went for a little bit more of an economy decision, but yeah, it just did not have what it takes to take down the army of bScherm and strike back. So far it is not really looking good for our boys at the bottom of the rankings, but who knows, maybe Neagat can bounce back and get the reverse sweep going like we saw yesterday with Weird Red versus Slammer. Let's get into the second game and find out if it can happen. And here we are once again on the map Ice Cold. And as it is ice cold, we're going to start with a player in the blue, signaling how cold it actually is. Working in these snowy conditions on the top right hand side of the map. Having the 1-0 lead, it's bScherm. And in the bottom left hand side with the red workers with the Santa hats trying to stay a little bit warm in these tough conditions. As you can say that this player is in a tough position, it's Neagat. I am rooting for Neagat. Once again, like I said, I know that bScherm is a good player. Definitely a great addition to the team of the Fellowship. But Neagat is definitely not someone to be slept on. You still need to respect this guy. And, you know, I'm going to be curious to see what he will end up with. This time, there is actually going to be a change when it comes to the initial start of the games, because I believe that this is going to be the first Beast versus Beast opening that we have seen in the tournament so far. The Rex obviously did not work out for Neagat, so maybe he's trying to get a more aggressive style going. Maybe that's more his forte. But bScherm, obviously, with the experience that he has, might be able to deal with it relatively quickly. But we'll see how it will actually be executed. bScherm's den is obviously constructed a little bit sooner, as it is on top of his ramp, while the den of Neagat is on the bottom of the ramp. Probably trying to make the walk into his main base as long as possible. While bScherm is taking a slightly bigger risk. Maybe not necessarily bigger risk, but I assume that his walk to get into his main base is going to be just slightly shorter than the one it would be from Neagat. Having that said though, there is not that much in it. But let's see what's going to happen here. The wolves cross each other in the middle of the map. They will know that it is Beast versus Beast. And if they didn't know just yet, they will know in just a second, as these wolves will clash with each other. First hit in Neagat's favor, always nice to see, but on the other side, it is bScherm with the first hit. Also curious why these two wolves are not going to charge this one in the main base. He's probably wanting to keep them at the front just in case of a bigger attack. We'll see that there are two wolves at the main base and immediately moves them into his own main base as well to try and hunt down this one over here. Hunting down wolves, obviously a tricky situation because wolves are as fast as one another, so they will not really catch up. So that's always, you know, an interesting thing to see. The only thing that will make them catch up is the fact that the following units can actually move a little bit diagonally. This is an interesting deviation as well. bScherm is going for a natural base, just a little bit faster than Neagat. Neagat deciding to go for the additional wolf den, but then having the two wolf dens is actually not producing out of any of them, which is an interesting situation. Probably busy trying to micro his units at both sides of the map. But I would love to see just some continuous production over here, as I highly doubt that it is necessary to save this much money. Or maybe he has a different strategy in mind and I'm just being stupid. I guess we'll never find out. With that said, I might have been stupid, but it immediately gets scouted by bScherm. The Snake Charmer is on the way for our player in the red, trying to get some snakes in relatively early. How is the wolf count looking? It is 6 versus 7, one obviously being in the main base, so it might be 6 versus 6 when it comes to it. Or this wolf is actually going to be taken down. No, not yet. Okay, good. Yeah, bScherm is just getting so much data, and if he only was just A-moving these wolves, he would have had us around. But that has not happened just yet, and I do believe that Neagat did lose his wolf on his own side, and this one eventually gets taken down, but it's just a little bit too late in my opinion. I thought that Neagat was already producing some snakes, but I guess they will be following this set of wolves as a snake charmer has been completed. bScherm on the other hand is going for 2 dens, 3 dens actually, in addition, for a total of 4, also getting a snake charmer himself. When it comes to the total amount of production, bScherm will be at a higher count. A 3rd den is on the way for Neagat. But if we look at the economy, it is actually Neagat that is ahead. They're probably going to be relatively similar. Maybe it is... of course bScherm is creating more buildings, so he might have workers, but they're not actually working at this point, because they are building production buildings. And of course the snake charmer as well. But it is relatively close. Mined gold, similar. Gold lost. Just one more wolf for Neagat here. It's not too big of a deal. This wolf will definitely get surrounded, so the lost gold will once again be exactly the same. The wolf of bScherm not actually dealing any damage to any of the other wolves. It'll probably be regenerated anyway. It would have been nice to actually see that wolf attacking back, no matter what. Every little bit counts, especially if you're 1-0 ahead. You want to get any advantage you can get to just close it out with a 2-0. Might not have a real proper impact, but you never know. bScherm, however, is moving out 12 wolves and 3 snakes versus 9 wolves and 5 snakes. I want to say that this is definitely in the advantage of bScherm, with the armies going to cross each other. They will just barely miss out. One of the wolves is getting caught by the snakes. It is just a little bit of a play because, oh, Neagat actually pulling back his army. Will he know that anything is going on? Is trying to move his army over here. Does not see it until now. The wolves are surrounding all of these snakes. Instantly pulls back his entire army, but isn't going to be on time. He will immediately lose 2 snakes, maybe even 3 at this point, because this snake could have just moved to get out of there. And I feel like Neagat is just not really on it right now. Will he actually be able to take down some units over here? bScherm bringing back his wolf over here, is trying to get some more additional scouting in. One snake, definitely not going to deal with it, but bScherm moving back in with his entire wolf army. Is it going to be enough? One wolf is going to be taken down. A lot of the wolves of bScherm are being hit and slowly being softened down. 3 houses being constructed at the same time for bScherm. Does not want to get supply blocked. In the meantime, Neagat is only building 1 house. Will be a little bit more supply blocked when it comes to it. Maybe, however, he is working ahead, because as you can see, there's a werewolf den coming. Maybe not the best production cycling over here, because a snake is stuck behind this werewolf den, and I assume that he does not want to make a snake out of it, but actually a werewolf. But a werewolf might be a good addition to his army. There's a major attack going on over here. Some wolves are going to be taken down, and there's a very nice engagement for what it looks like for Neagat, but there is so many snakes for bScherm just taking shots from outer space. I'm actually curious to see. I'll keep this highlighted to see if he's going to continue making the snake or if he's actually going to produce some werewolves out of it. All of the wolves, however, from bScherm are going to go down, and these snakes are not tanky. Wolves have 160 health, snakes only 90. So without the wolves, bScherm definitely has to retreat, because he has nothing to tank the entire army of Neagat with. So far, so good. Pretty nice hold. The worker has been taken down though, so this third base is not going to be continued to be constructed, but we've seen this before. bScherm on 2 bases, Neagat trying to get a third going. Is this going to pay out? Neagat, as well, as I assumed, is going to be supply blocked. This base is not going to be completed. He will make another house, but he is far behind and no efficiency when it comes to the producing of the units. There's a big engagement over here. None of the armies have any upgrades, but doesn't even matter. So far, it doesn't seem like it. The wolves of Neagat are doing a lot of work, but the 2 wolves of bScherm, once again, stopping the production of the watchtower and of the castle. Really good at dealing with this situation over here. bScherm, a very nice denial so far on that third base. Keeping Neagat on his toes. When it looks at the economy, once again, they are so close. Neagat has a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the total mined gold. Is only slightly behind on the gold lost. But there's still a 300 gold advantage for him. Over here, once again, these wolves are just not going to be taken down with the army he has so far. Absolutely devastating, does not focus 1 wolf at a time, so these wolves are getting way much more value than they should be getting. But they will be taken down eventually. And the third base will eventually end up going down as well. When it comes to the production facilities, it is 5 dens for bScherm against 3 and a werewolf den, so 4 in total, technically, for Neagat. So the production is definitely in favor of bScherm, but Neagat has all the money that he needs for his production. Is currently sitting on 600 gold, definitely wants to start getting used to getting some more production and actually starting the production of some werewolves, because my dude, you got a werewolf den, but you're not producing werewolves. Why is that, my dude? Is getting himself an animal testing lab, however, but bScherm, his animal testing lab will be finished slightly sooner. His third is also up as well. So when it comes to the income, bScherm is actually catching up relatively quickly so far. But Neagat's third is going to be saturated now as well. So his economy will have a massive boost once all of those workers start to officially mine. bScherm checking out for the 4th, does see that there is no 4th for him just yet. No vision for Neagat. bScherm has been all over, sees that indeed the 3rd is up and running. He sees that there are more dens being constructed, knows that it's going to be a slightly tricky situation, but this is what I mean. This is what we like to see. 2 workshops being constructed. Going to get himself probably some catapults to add to his army. One of the workshops has been scouted by Neagat though. Will he respond to it, however? Is he himself going to get an advanced workshop? Yes, he is. Where is he actually going to build it? I don't see it. I'm blind? I assume I'm blind. Oh, whoops. I am actually blind because it's an advanced workshop from bScherm and not from Neagat. So this is going to be interesting. Two workshops which are going to create catapults, and advanced workshop. So bScherm is going to look to get some catapult drops in, which are probably going to be devastating for our boy in the red, because he is probably not ready for it. Is going to find a second workshop, so knows that absolutely necessity to respond is here, and he himself is going to get a fortress. So he's going to transition into some dragons, probably trying to counter the catapults with dragons instead. Which could be a great addition, but it is going to take quite a while before those are actually going to be added to his army. bScherm over here is being stuck into this corner. It does have a watchtower there though, so there's a lot of damage being added as well. Catapult pops out, is going to be dealing a lot of damage to this army. The splash damage is actually insane. And Neagat wisely reconsiders his engagement. But a catapult over here has popped out already as well. We'll see it immediately as two of his wolves are going to be taken out. Is there going to be another attack? Taken out some army? No, so far not really. But bScherm will once again try and engage. This wolf is written up as completely dead. It's going to be interesting to see. Once again, finally, a werewolf is being produced on the side of Neagat. The fortress is almost done. One attack upgrade versus one armor upgrade has been finished as well. bScherm going for the 1-1, Neagat going for the 2-0 approach. So it's also going to be interesting to see upgrade-wise how this is going to go. This wolf is going to be taken down as Neagat is going to try and take his fourth base all the way on the right-hand side of the map. That is an interesting position. I would prefer probably to see this base being taken by Neagat. Because this is a very wide space to try and have to defend. While this is like a relatively easy area to defend if you keep your army over to the neutral buildings over here. They can, especially with Beast, they can definitely move around relatively quickly and try and catch anything that comes their way. bScherm seems like he's going to try and set up his own fourth as well. So far, that is in the advantage of a player in the red. A Forge coming up as well, probably going for the attack upgrade for the catapults, going to 2-shot instead of 3-shot the workers. For some reason, this werewolf is attacking his house. Why? I see why. He walled himself in with the dragon lairs. Is going to construct 3 at the same time though, so that is going to be an interesting transition. For our player in the red, he is way up there when it comes to the supply, but I believe that the effective supply with the 7 catapults for bScherm is going to be in his favor. Definitely going to be interesting though to see what will actually go ahead and happen as the first dragon has been constructed. This werewolf has not finished taking down this house, which is interesting, taking his sweet time to actually get out of the main base. I hope that he has an additional house built, and it looks like he does, so he does not supply block himself. But it's a nice harassment from Neagat over here, but with the 4 catapults, it is nothing that he can really do about it. The snakes and a little bit of a army at the 4th. Just keeping it there is very nice, trying to catch the airship over there. We'll push it back this far. Another forge is being constructed of bScherm, does indeed go for the mechanical unit attack upgrades, so those catapults will be absolutely devastating when it comes to the worker line, but obviously as well when it comes to just the normal army for Neagat 2. And when it comes to the upgrades, it is kind of looking painful so far. Once again, two catapults just going to shoot over and over and over at this army of Neagat. It is not going to be an efficient trade for him. He does not want to engage in all of these catapults. That is a very tricky situation. However, if you look at the army, one dragon has been completed, two more are on the way. But bScherm will actually scout all of these, as he will see the dragon over here. Shots are being fired at the airship. Is he going to manage to drop the catapults? Yes, he is. One shot is going to be dealt at the watchtowers. Two shots are going to be dealt at the workers over here. Won't actually deal anything. Airship goes down. Catapults will be taken down as well. Will it actually deal any economical damage? It doesn't look like it. The workers are all being swapped as the main base has been mined out. Main base workers probably going to the second base, I would assume. And he did manage to finish his fifth base. But the fourth base of bScherm is under attack. This is a very nice attack so far. Catapults being caught off guard for a little bit. A second advanced workshop probably going to... Well, a third advanced workshop is going to probably spam some of the ballistas here. Also a third normal workshop as well. It seems like he's going to go for a complete mech switch over here, as he's getting two additional mech attack upgrades. Already has +1, but will get +2 and +3 going at the exact same time. Once again, this is very interesting to keep in mind if you play these games yourself, because going for the third attack upgrade right now, it's already going for 20 seconds, so it saved him a total of 90 seconds before having to start his third. So it is 90 seconds faster, so he actually only needs to wait 40 additional seconds for his third attack upgrade to come in and be ready. Now, I have seen this upgrade before for bScherm. I have seen it once before, but I don't know what it's called. And I'm also not entirely sure what it does or which building actually produces it. It might be a workshop, I don't actually know. So excuse me for not knowing the effects of that upgrade. But any upgrade that bScherm gets is obviously in a disadvantage for our boy in the red. Did manage to get himself a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th base over here. I could also just look at this screen. Actually he has 5. Wait, how is he a 5? 1, 2. Of course, he has 1 fortress. I'm stupid. But yeah, ballistas have now arrived with the airships, making them very maneuverable and a big nuisance for the dragons of Neagat. Only has 3 dragons though, so okay, well, bScherm, if you want to free up some supply, you can just tell me. I will gladly take your wolves. But it's also very interesting to see from Neagat. As you can see, he got a mage's guild and is getting himself some fireballs. Also getting himself a forge as well. Also workshops, probably trying to get some catapults himself and get himself in there. Yes, as you can see, the mech attack upgrade from our player in the red as well. It's going to be tough to watch though, because I have a feeling that this 6th base is pretty much written to death. But on the other hand, this 5th base of bScherm is also going to be taken down. Don't know if it's actually... Yes, the base itself is going to be taken down. Will take quite a few losses, however, but almost all of the catapults are at the 6th of Neagat. This castle is going to be taken down very quickly. Just 2 more volleys of the catapults and it will probably be taken down with some attacks from the wolf army as well. Will it actually be taken out? Yes, it does. Okay, good. Watchtower is being constructed. Probably not going to be able to do that much, as some upgrades have been finished, and especially the ones for the catapults. The dragons are going to be a very nice defense, but otherwise in the meantime, on the other side of the field, 1 base has been killed, 2 bases have been killed. I believe that the fortress is probably going to go down as well. So bScherm needs to kill his opponent with this push. 3 mages are here. Are they going to fire some fireballs? It doesn't look like it just yet is going to try and wait out his time. The Forge's upgrade is not going to be completed, or is he actually going to be distracted by the wolves? Will he actually let this upgrade complete? It's only going to be 5 seconds, and it looks like the upgrade is going to complete. The few catapults that Neagat has will definitely get some great use out of it. The ballistas finally take down the dragons. Will the mages actually deal quite some damage? Yes, some nice fireballs are going across all of the catapults of bScherm. Is it going to be enough though? The production is relatively empty, but it looks like some more fireballs enter the fray. Some additional wolves are going to go down. Dragons going to try and take care of the catapults, but it's not really working. These mages are written to die. Nothing that he can really do about it. But in the meantime, the entire base of bScherm is just being destroyed. If Neagat can hold out, or can hold on to his position while he does still have quite a little bit of economy, and if he can hold this push, he might actually be able to take everything down. All of these dragons are just moving over and getting absolutely blasted by the ballistas. It's not great movement from Neagat, but he does have a great spirit. But all of the production over here has been destroyed. Slowly and steadily, bScherm is also taking down Neagat. But is it going to be enough? Some more mages are going to be constructed, so I have a feeling that these fireballs are going to try and actually take down the remainder of the army. 2 mages pop out. Will the fireballs be shot out immediately, or will they be taken down before the fireballs even have a chance to hit? So far, mages are idle. Finally decides to use it, but whiffs it completely. It's not really looking great. Slowly but steadily, the entire production of Neagat is also going to be taken down. The army has been retreating, but it's not going to be enough. 3 dragons, however, are going to enter the fray. If Neagat can actually take down these 2 ballistas, that might be great to see, but he is going to bunch up some explosive shots. Will they be fired? So far, no, but there's still plenty of damage being dealt to the dragons. The ballistas, however, are finally going to be cleared up and going to be taken down. Nothing that bScherm can do now, as he still has quite some economy, but he does not have that many production units. I don't think there's anything that he can really do against these dragons here. Just an airship with 1 catapult remaining will be taken down eventually by these dragons. Will be destroyed. The main base down, second base down, but also close to being rebuilt. The army of bScherm mainly consists of catapults. Is that going to be enough? I highly doubt it. The army of Neagat is quite substantially larger. Having the additional 3 dragons as well is definitely going to be tough for bScherm to hold. Does have plenty of watchtowers though. There are a total of 6 even at this base. Neagat's actually scouting with his catapults. Is he going to get a second shot in? Yes, he is. Taking down just 1 or 2 workers, not really that many, but it's a nice attempt nonetheless. Neagat, of course, also has the base over here in the middle. His economy still going steady. Dragon's trying to scout around a little bit, sees what he is up against, takes down 1 watchtower. Will he take down more? This ballista was in a tricky position, but does manage to survive so far. It's not really looking good for bScherm at this point. I thought that Neagat was the one in trouble, based on the attack. He actually might want to get his workers going to work again. And maybe let those mine at that gold base and not that one. But nonetheless, income is income. But it's looking tough for bScherm. He needs to rebuild quite some of his production. Having that said though, his army is looking strong. Ballistas are getting back on the field. There are plenty of catapults which deal +9 additional damage because of the +3 mech attack. Having that said though, the beast army of Neagat has +4, and that is also not a joke. and they are fast. So if these catapults are being pulled out of position, they can definitely be taken down very quickly. 3 ballistas are going to shoot down on these dragons, explosive shots all over the place, almost killing the dragons for 60%. It's not a great move once again. Another dragon enters the field though. Is this going to be it? Is this going to be the final attack? A lot of catapults, not something that Neagat really wants to engage in. More and more dragons are going to be taken down. Ballistas are on their way out. The mage is actually running straight into the army. A full energy mage is going to be taken down, and all of the catapults just get free shots on the entire beast army. In the meantime, Gatling guns also taking down the workers of Neagat at his 7th base. It is not really looking good for either player, but bScherm, still with the slight advantage that he had in the early game, is he managing to actually do it. Gatling guns getting cleaned up relatively easily is not that great to see for bScherm, but he did deal quite some damage over here. A total of 43 workers have been going down for Neagat. That is absolutely devastating. Over here though, this is also a very interesting situation. Catapults probably not able to actually get out of this area. Needs to pick them up and drop them again to set them free, and probably... Oh well, the workers actually don't have any more gold to mine at that base, so no wonder they were not actually doing anything. But I highly doubt why is Neagat still going for this many dragons? Maybe he tries to take down all of the ballistas here, but he is up against 6 or 7 ballistas. He has 7 ballistas at this point. All of these ballistas will just smash those dragons completely. Maybe I would like to see some werewolves into his army composition, or maybe go for some catapults himself as well. Or try to just completely flank this area. This is a very nice move though. If he would pull through even more with this army. bScherm's army is completely mech. It is very slow. It just has a movement speed of 2. And the army of Neagat pretty much has 50% more movement speed. So Neagat really needs to start to make use of it. His 5th base is going to be taken down now. And I feel like Neagat just wants to make a decision to actually go and take it down. Why are the dragons going over here if all the ballistas are over here? Dragons should try and counterattack and take down everything on the other side of the field. Because I don't think that this is what you want to do, my man. Finally, it seems like he's going to make the decision and go up north. He's going to try and take down this one ballista. Might actually be able to do it, but will take way too much damage for it in return. In the meantime, the 5th base is going to be taken down slowly but steadily. Everything on this side is going to be shut down. But once again, Neagat on the side of bScherm taking down more bases. Neagat himself trying to reclaim the central base. When it comes to the income, it is 1,000 versus 300. 5,000 more mined, 5,000 more lost, so the game is actually surprisingly equal. But 0 income from bScherm is not what he likes to see. Go and move all of your workers to this base. Please go and mine absolutely anything. But I think that this is just going to be a game of nutrition with the income that Neagat does still have. He can outproduce bScherm here, and bScherm is pretty much dead, because I think that once these ballistas are going to be taken down at least a little bit, the dragons will take over, and obviously he still has some more production from the dens as well. But it's still just tough to see. Neagat definitely wants to go and take down this base. I don't know why bScherm is not mining from the actual base, but fine, don't worry about it. Watchtower over here actually surviving with barely a little bit of health, will eventually be taken down. Does manage to deal some damage. The money that bScherm does have now is all going into the repairing of all of these units. The catapults definitely want to focus or try and focus the ballistas, but the slow and steady stream of units are going to be engaging this catapult army. It's not what you would like to see, because these catapults are just going to take down absolutely everything that is slowly dripping in. You want to see a surround from multiple sides But the base over here has been taken down by Neagat. Will he actually manage to pull back his army? Yes, he does, but once again, all of the dragons versus 5 total ballistas over here. I feel like these dragons are pretty much dead as they arrive. Is there anything else going on the other side? No, not really. Is there a lot of army remaining for Neagat either? No. Why is there not a lot of army remaining? We will never know, because he had 800 gold. What is he starting to make out of it? Even more dragons. What is he doing with the dragons? Just letting them all die to the ballistas. Please stop making them or use them differently. Why won't you learn from your mistakes? I actually really want Neagat to win this, because bScherm, once again, has absolutely no income. He has 0 gold, has 90 gold per minute that he can mine. He is really on his last fumes, and he is working his ass off with it. And he is doing wonders, but Neagat gives him the room to breathe. I don't see why Neagat is now going for an advanced workshop. Just make more units. Make more units, surround this area. Finally, just now, is going to take down all of the ballistas. The dragons finally are going to be able to do anything, and with the final ballista going to be taken down from bScherm, these dragons have free reign, and finally bScherm GG's out. But this could have been finished like 10 to 15 minutes ago, it feels like. Just because of the terrible engagements from the dragons and the great engagements from bScherm with all of the catapults and stuff. Very tough to watch, but Neagat does manage to get a game in. So it is a 1-1 situation. We are once again not in a sweep, which is a good thing for Team Broleague, and also for Team Holy and Team Mdurg, because the Fellowship will not get 2 clean sweeps in a row, so their points will at least be capped at a 5 if bScherm manages to win, or otherwise Team Broleague will actually take the 3rd position over from Mdurg, as they will get 2 points instead. Enough said about that though. It's a great series so far, no matter the few flaws that we see. So let's just continue to game number 3. And game number 3 is going to be on Mirrored Mire. And mirrored they shall be. Because in the top left-hand side, now with the red pieces looking to take the victory for 2-1. Game 3 redo. Oh, from a disconnect, I see. Alright, it's going to be curious who would have been ahead in Game 3 in the original match. But nonetheless, it is a redo, so yeah, what can you do? Stuff happens, so I hope that the outcome at some point will be the same, and that no one will be plagued by too many technical difficulties. But having that said, let's figure out who is going to take the victory in this best of 3. The game is kind of weird now. Curious what Neagat means by this, but first, let me continue with the introduction. The top left-hand side, starting with the wolf den with the red pieces, it is once again our boy bScherm, which means that in the bottom right-hand side with the blue pieces this time, it is our boy from the Broleague, Neagat. Okay, so bScherm saw him open mech, and you want to again? Well, bScherm knows exactly what Neagat is going to do. Don't mind me knowing that. Well, you don't necessarily know what is going to happen. If they are actually going to do a redo of the match, that would be interesting. As in the same builds and that kind of stuff. Or if they are just, you know, free to do whatever they want. It is, however, the first mech opening of this Pro League season, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a den versus mech opening. I assume that this is going to start with some Gatling guns, and yes, indeed it is. But But yeah, I'm actually going to be curious how this is going to work out, because I have not seen too many mech openings so far, and they're definitely interesting to watch. Mech is not the fastest moving group of units. Players who have played StarCraft 2, of course, and StarCraft 1 as well, and probably many other RTSs at this point know that mech units are just slow. They are strong but slow. The Gatling gun, however, does have a very interesting ability. They can drop caltrops, which if the opponent, especially this time bScherm with a beast-based army so far, if he walks over caltrops, they will damage the unit for 1, I believe, or at least very minimal, and also slow their movement speed, which is very nice. If you drop quite some caltrops with the Gatling guns and then have quite a few catapults there as well, just throwing their rocks at the enemy, that is a very juicy target for those rocks to land, because with almost 3.5 movement speed, those wolves and also the snakes having a lot of speed as well are going to be tough to hit. So with the caltrops, the movement speed will be greatly reduced, and the catapults will have a greater shot in doing so. Neagat this time is going to take the advantage when it comes to getting his natural base. Managed to get just 2 Gatling guns and saving some money to get the natural instead of getting a 3rd Gatling gun, but he is, however, a little bit supply blocked. Just a little bit though, as the castle does finish. It will give him some additional supply. But, oh, this is interesting. Okay. I'm going to be curious to try and see if the wolves are going to be in, because this mill is going to be a nuisance. bScherm, however. Ooh, that is very greedy. Is it greedy though? Because obviously going up against a mech-based player, mech is very slow. It's probably going to be very turtly, which means, as you might be able to guess, hide as a turtle, retreat into your shell, stay within your compound of the bases in the SimCity that you created, and just build up a massive ball and then move out. With maybe some catapult drops here and there and stuff like that, and some harassment obviously here from the gyros. But bScherm, obviously knowing that, knows that he is probably in a good position, is going to go immediately for the 3rd base and just putting all of his money on eco. Also getting himself an advanced workshop, as he probably would assume that either catapults are going to be coming in with an advanced workshop for an airship, or he might expect the mill follow-up as well, and will go for ballistas that way in order to either counter the catapult drops or counter the gyrocrafts. No matter what he does, ballistas here is a very good counter to whatever Neagat is going to try. First gyrocraft will make his way across the map. These Gatling guns are going to try and shoo away those wolves. But this is not what Neagat wants to see. 1 watchtower almost completed. A 2nd den is going to be constructed as well. Advanced workshop completed. Ballista starts. Will not be able to do anything at the 3rd base as the watchtower is completed. Once again, I heard that having 6 or 7 gyros is enough to ignore a watchtower, but obviously he has 1, and well, the 2nd one probably just added or joined the field. I don't quite know where the 2nd one is. Ah, here it is, taking down one of the wolves. And this gyro over here is also doing some work, taking down 1 worker so far, but the ballista will almost pop out, and the ballista will do a 45 health shot. And let me see if I can quickly calculate. That is 4 shots in order to take it down, I believe. Which is not that many, to be honest. bScherm as well, getting himself a snake charmer, will get himself a greater position to deal with those gyros In addition to obviously the ballista, getting himself an airship as well, getting some more usage out of the ballista. With the additional movement speed, as you can pick up those ballistas and just drop them everywhere you like. Getting some snakes in for some additional ground-to-air damage is never going to hurt anyone. This gyrocraft, though, will manage to take down this worker. It does manage to stop the reduction of the watchtower and the relatively quick addition of a 4th for bScherm. As Neagat has gotten his 3rd up and running, bScherm will scout this. Will obviously let this wolf just die here, but knows that there is a 3rd for him and that he does need to go ahead and do his best to get his 4th up and running. Is getting the explosive shot upgrade over here for his ballistas, dealing quite a lot more damage. Neagat needs to start to pay attention to this, as clumping up your gyros at this point, while the explosive shot upgrade has been finished, will lead into a very painful noise and a not so happy Neagat at the end of an engagement. Snakes are also out on the field, so gyros are going to be stopped at least a little bit. Will this ballista be able to catch this gyro? And yes, it actually does. Very well done from bScherm. But yeah, so far so good. bScherm is slowly eking out an advantage, I would like to say. Not necessarily when it comes to the gold, but I definitely want to say when it comes to the army composition. He has ballistas, he has snakes, he has plenty to deal with. The gyros and the Gatling guns so far are probably also not really that big of a nuisance. Neagat, however, is finally going to go for a catapult drop. This airship, though, with the ballista is relatively close. Is moving it down, though, which is a terrible timing. Or actually only moved it down just a little bit, moving it right in between all of the bases. Is he going to have a quick response time to the catapults being dropped in the base? Once again, not the best targeting. Once you drop the catapults, you kind of want to pull the catapults away and then target the worker line instead of letting the catapults auto fire immediately, because that gives the extra opportunity if the opponent did not see it just yet. This is also very nice from bScherm taking down the airship. But it gives the opportunity to the enemy to respond earlier, because if they did not see it, they will then get a message that their base is under attack, and if they respond quickly to the message that their base is under attack, your catapults will still not deal any damage. If you move your catapults and not let them attack freely, and actually target the workers, you might have a greater possibility of actually dealing substantial damage to the workers, if not just killing them outright. But so far so good. This is an interesting situation. Neagat trying to let his catapults survive will not happen. Some damage is being dealt though, but it's not going to be enough. 2 catapults are going to be taken down for free. And this airship is probably also going to be taken down relatively for free, because this airship with a ballista is following it everywhere it goes. And I assume that this is going to die rather quickly. Once again, bScherm attacking the face of Neagat, as we can see that the airship has indeed been taken down. And that's so bad to see. Just 3 damage remaining on this, or 3 health remaining on this Gatling gun. Not that nice. The 4th base of Neagat has been going down. A nice watchtower to defend. Another workshop going down. So it is indeed a full-on mech. Versus a now fortress for our boy in the red. Getting himself an animal testing lab. I assume he's going to go for attack upgrades and then the transition into dragons. Will definitely take down everything that Neagat has so far. The Neagat only has his gyrocrafts, which can shoot the air units. but those gyros are going to die relatively quickly when it comes to the damage output of some dragons. If we look at the total amount of gyros that Neagat actually has, it's only 3. So just a few dragons and some snakes can actually do the trick completely. It still is going to take quite a while before dragons are entering the field, though, as the fortress is just over 2/3 done at this point. But it is still a nice move from bScherm. Not entirely sure if he does indeed want to encounter this army. 3 catapults are not an insane amount, but it's definitely not a safe amount. But as you can see, gyros trying to deal some additional damage. And bScherm attempting to get in his 5th base. Will this ballista be able to take down these gyros? I assume he is. Shoots one, will actually use the ability. No, we will not use the ability just yet. We'll go and repair this ballista, but 3 gyros versus 1 ballista apparently is enough to deter it for now. And he did not even use the explosive shot. If he did, those gyros had even less of an opportunity. 4 dragon lairs are going to be constructed. That is going to be a massive change in the army composition. These catapults are also ridden for death. Only one gets dropped. No, they both got dropped, but they cannot really do anything. Both of them are going to be taken down. Very bad for Neagat here. Not the greatest amount of control. He is going to attempt his 5th again. bScherm's 5th is now up and running. When it comes to the total economy, it is still relatively equal. The gold mined, he is a little bit ahead in the gold mined, 400, but he is 550, 560 behind when it comes to gold lost. So Neagat is actually slightly behind here. And if you see that Mr. bScherm is going for 1 attack upgrades and 4 dragon lairs, you can only imagine what the devastation is going to be like in this battlefield. So far, bScherm definitely with the advantage. Going to harass the 5th base, going to take down some of these Gatling guns. The snakes also entering the fray are probably going to target down the weaker gyro. Or not, apparently. But yeah, those gyros are not really doing that much. Snake's not the best when it comes to fighting air units though, but if you have quite some, they still deal 5.5 damage every 0.67 seconds. So yeah, this base is pretty much up for death. 2 catapults in here as well, being a nice backline and a little bit of additional poke from a boy in the red. But here come the catapults of Neagat. Is it going to be enough? It is not going to be enough just yet. Neagat does go and drop all of the caltrops that I was talking about before. Will he manage to slow down this entire army? Yes, he does, and that is absolutely devastating when it comes to the catapult shots, but the timing of the catapult shots is not the best. Most of the attacks were on cooldown while the entire base, or the entire army of bScherm, was slowed down. So it could have been just a little bit better, but it is still absolutely devastating. bScherm in the meantime as well, taking corner base number 1, taking corner base number 2. This is not nice. This is also catapult ship versus catapult ship. I expect bScherm thinking that he had ballistas in the chip, but it's not actually true. And he sees, oh boy, Neagat sees the dragon lair. I do like the upgrade situation for our boy in the blue though. He's creating 2 armor upgrades at the exact same time, which means he will be at 1-3. But will he have anything to attack the air? Only 1 gyro is only now going to start to get ballistas, but there are already 4 dragons in his face, and there are 4 more on the way, and they already have 1 attack upgrade with the 2nd one on the way. bScherm with 1100 gold in the bank. Doesn't know what to spend it on because he has maximum supply, making another 4 dragons, leaving 12 in total on the battlefield, creating just 2 more for 14 in total. None of these catapults can do anything. None of these Gatling guns can do anything. Ballistas are not ready yet. He only has 1 advanced workshop. He is creating a 2nd one, but I feel like it's just not going to be enough. Another attack for bScherm at the 5th of Neagat is going to take down the additional advanced workshop, and it's just looking devastating for a player in the blue. Dragons absolutely everywhere. The second attack upgrade is coming in. Another animal testing lab is being constructed. The bank is growing for both of these players, but one just has the way bigger and superior army composition. Neagat, you need to focus on advanced workshops. There you go, creating 2 more. You still have plenty of money in the bank, so you might as well try and create some archers or something. Obviously you can't, because you only have 0 barracks. But yeah, this is absolutely devastating. Neagat over here, I feel like, has nothing to say. Has 2 ballistas, none more are under construction. You would say that it would be the main priority for this guy to get his ballistas going. But no, it looks like it's not. He's also not getting the explosive shot upgrade for his ballistas, as the 2 additional advanced workshops are going to go down. bScherm taking a relatively bad-mannered base. Over here, just trying to assert his dominance just outside of range. Literally the block outside of the range of the house. To try and sneak some economy here, but look at this. This is absolutely painful. 8 dragons taking down the workers, so one of these is at 60 seconds, 3 more seconds, and another advanced workshop would have been completed. More ballistas are on the way. Please make more ballistas and get your explosive shot upgrade, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 14 dragons are in the natural base of Neagat. 4 more dragons are on the way. There are 19 on the battlefield in total, going to 23. And yeah, Neagat is laughing and says GG. Nothing that he can do versus the +2 and almost +3 attack dragons of bScherm. A very nice switch when it comes to the army composition. A very nice read that Neagat had absolutely nothing in order to deal with it. And it's a relatively easy victory for bScherm here. Meaning that, after all, it is the Team Fellowship. The Fellowship has another victory when it comes to the games. However, this time it is not a clean sweep. The cracks are starting to form when you get to the lower seeds so far. Neagat, it was a very well put effort. And it does mean that Team Broleague is now on the board with 1 map, giving them 1 point in total. They are, however, behind Team Mderg, because obviously they got 2 losses versus Mderg's 1, and also Mderg just has another possibility in the next game that will cast to actually pull ahead of Broleague again. So they were still shared 3rd place and technically on the bottom so far. But that is up for the next game to figure out how that is going to end up. The Fellowship, however, is going to extend their lead, having won 4 maps in total with 1 clean sweep in there. So they will have 5 points going into the 3rd day of the tournament. Up next, once again, is going to be Team Holy versus Team Mderg. And we shall see if there is going to be an equalizer in the score, if Team Mderg can get a clean sweep and take that 2nd position, or if Team Holy is going to crush all of Team Mderg's dreams and is going to set their eyes onto 1st place and try and claim the position of the Fellowship. That, however, is going to be it for this set of games, so I appreciate everyone dropping by once again, and I hope that you enjoyed the games. If you did, obviously, feel free to hit the like button, and if you do not want to miss any of the future games of the Pro League number 6, then obviously hit that subscribe button as well, and please check out all of the other content creators of Littlewargame as well, because there is a lot of coverage of the game going on right now. Yeah, check out all of their point of views, all of their insights, and yeah, learn as much as you can, get as much entertainment as you can, and yeah, I will see you all in the next one. And until then, have a great day, my dudes.